Nearly 43 years ago, Moscow ordered troops into Afghanistan. Over the following decade, some 15,000 Soviet Red Army soldiers would die there. Their war and eventual retreat led to the collapse of the Soviet Union. Today, the death toll of Russian troops in Ukraine could already match those killed over 10 years in Afghanistan. 498 dead in the first week of war, according to Russia's defense ministry. And despite no update since, NATO officials say after a month of fighting, the Russian death toll is now as many as 15,000. Across dozens of Russian cities, more than 15,000 people have been arrested for protesting the war. Recently, anxious parents of troops have begun showing up. Putin's Achilles heel is the perception soldiers are dying unnecessarily.
Священного Писания.
It's why his tightened reporting laws and swamped Russia with Kremlin propaganda. And it's why the Ukrainian military shows off battlefield gains, like knocking out Russian tanks or captured Russian soldiers, because they know bad press back home is what got the Red Army out of Afghanistan. What sucked for the Soviets in the 80s was the Afghans' determination to fight for their homeland, and that the United States supplied the Afghan fighters with Stinger surface-to-air missiles. The shoulder-launched weapons turned the tide of the war. Russian helicopters were easy prey. They lost air superiority, and with it the will to endure high casualties and anger back home. 2 years after an ignominious pullout in 1989, the economic cost of war overpowered the ailing Soviet economy, and 7 decades of communist rule collapsed. Afghan parallels with today's war in Ukraine are clear. Like the Afghans, the Ukrainians are ferociously battling to save their homeland from Moscow's army. And as they did with the Afghan fighters, the US and allies are supplying the Ukrainian army with US-made Stinger missiles to shoot down Russian helicopters and jets with success.
The airspace is contested, and it's contested because the Ukrainians are making it that way. And they're being very smart about how they're marshalling and using their air defense resources.
Tank-busting US-made Javelin missiles are also helping Ukraine keep Putin's army at bay. Russia's enemies, if not Russia, have learnt the lessons of the Afghan war. No one yet, though, predicting the collapse of Putin's power. Nick Robertson, CNN, Brussels.